Listen up, I got something to say. I'm going to speak the truth to you, but some of y'all, you took a shortcut, a convenience this summer. You was like, coach ain't here, the season's weeks away, I got time. Are you kidding me? As a college athlete, you got 4, maybe 5 years to be great or be forgotten. So while you home taking it easy, somebody else is out there in the heat just about killing itself to make their name great. But you got time. Yeah. My heart is purple and gold. I'm a pirate down to my soul, and I don't back down, not at all. Find out when the cannons explode. From the sidelines down to the post, put it down like not even close. All out till the last whistle blow. From the flag with the soul and crossbones. Everybody stand up, get your hands up. Let a team know that we got they back. This is our house, this is our town, our time.
Y'all, and thank y'all for joining us here for another episode of the Midweek Breakdown presented by the Athletes Table Podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Kraft. Alongside me is the Lebanese Stallion, Mr. AC Aaron Cooper. What's going on, y'all?
What's good?
Another day.
Another day.
Feel that.
Yeah, it don't feel like that here. Y'all, I'm struggling over here, boys. I need some energy today because I'm about to go to sleep. I'm not gonna lie. I'm about ready to croak.
Don't die.
Yeah,
wide awake, ready to go.
It's bad, bro. I need a shot. Something fierce.
But today we have a great guest on here. He was one of our more popular episodes we had as an interviewee. He's been working with special needs kids all the way through since graduation. He's a great baseball player, even better dude. We got Davis Agle. What's up, dude?
It's good to be back.
It's glad to have you back. You know,
I'll say your show is still going up, man. We're still getting more and more views on that.
You're close to 100.
I'm close to what?
100.
See, I keep sending it to people, and then hopefully they'll listen to it. But
see, a marketer right here. He knows what he's doing. Yes, sir. I like that. I like that.
But we got a great show for today. We got some big games coming up. We got some interesting stuff that's taking place in the top 25. We got some interesting scheduled games this week. You name it, we got it this week. I do want to ask first, going off, what is something that surprised you last week, whether it's in the rankings or with the style play or, you know, the results of the game? What is something that kind of shocked everybody?
Per usual, the shitty rankings by I don't know who the fuck does them. By idiot, I guess. Alabama didn't really move, which I guess that's whatever. North Carolina surpassed.
I don't understand that. How is Alabama not moving?
Well,
because they're not playing good fucking opponents, but they're fucking winning. But apparently winning doesn't mean shit.
I think
at all.
I think it's because of the point differential there is not as high as it usually is.
That's still stupid.
I think that's playing with a little bit. I mean, Carolina's undefeated, beat a top 25 team, and we still have 2 teams that have lost a game that are still in the top 10.
Yeah, I don't understand that. The Pac-12 teams, they're just playing each other, and they're all not that good.
Yeah.
You take the Pac-12 teams out of the Pac-12. The offenses are great. Yeah, I'm not going to argue about that.
The defense is like JV flag football.
Yeah. It might be worse than that.
Not lying at all, bro.
Sounds like we're all back in a litter box, just like my Alabama fucking comparison. The litter box playing with shit, dude, with some brown fucking sand. Every offense is sitting there eating it, going, this isn't that bad. The defense is like, ooh, shit, in the sand. You know, that's just what it is.
We got to make that a T-shirt, man.
So let me ask you guys this.
The sandbox at NCAA.
Sandbox NCAA.
So let me ask you guys this. Texas won last week and moved up 1 spot. Oregon lost and moved down to number 9. Do you guys think that either one should stay in there? They both have 1 loss. Do you think that Oregon should be out of the top 10? Do you think Texas should be out of the top 10? Do you think both deserve to stay in the top 10?
I mean, Texas has to blow out every opponent for them to even make it into at number 4. Texas doesn't play anything. Nah, not just that. They haven't played any fucking good opponents, dude, besides Alabama and then Oklahoma. They play absolutely nobody next. They play Houston, BYU, Kansas, TCU, Iowa, and Texas Tech. None of them are fucking good.
Yeah, I think the average win total for each is like 3 games.
It's not. They're not playing any more good teams. So if Texas doesn't blow anybody else out, they're not making it in like at all. And then Georgia just lost their fucking run, or they're not. Sorry, he's a running back. He's a tight end. He's a wide receiver. I don't fucking know. Brock's gone, dude. Tight end for Georgia's gone.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fucking shot. They're gonna lose some. I'd lose a game. I bet you because of him. The offense is gonna fucking sizzle out at some point. I don't know what game, if it's the next game or the game after, because they got a bye week this week. But it's gonna be rough for Georgia.
Yeah, I think so too.
Davis, what do you think about Oregon? Do you think Oregon should stay in the top 10, or do you think they should have been kicked out after losing to Washington?
Again, it's the same old bullshit of we haven't played a defense. Hey, let's go both play offense and go pee in the fucking sandbox where everyone else is playing. Oh, look, there's no one else in the sandbox. Throw the ball over the field. That's all it is. That's what Washington did. That's what fucking Oregon did. So, I mean, Oregon, who? Do they play anybody fucking else besides Washington?
They got Oregon
Utah.
State left.
That's not a fucking game because Utah's kind of – have they gotten their quarterback yet or no? Is he still out? So they're going to – I mean, Utah's a good defense, so we'll see what Oregon can do with that. But besides that, I mean, USC, the Caleb Williams retard show of, hey, we have a thing called defense. It doesn't play defense, but it is named defense. Offense – I could throw 3 picks. That's some good defense for the other team, right? That's the goal. That's all USC is now. It's just the fucking sprinkler pissing in the wind.
Yeah, I've got a couple of points on that. So Oregon, the only reason they're still up there is because of their points differential, just like you said before. Yeah. They haven't had a game this year outside of last week where they scored 33 points, if I remember correctly.
33, 36.
Every game else they score 40 plus.
But there's only one team who's beat every team so far, all Power 5 teams by 10 plus points. And they're just breaking into the top 10.
Yeah, that's true.
What? Who's that?
North Carolina. They beat every team that they played as a Power 5 team, and they beat every team by 10 plus points.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
So what I'm saying is like they just broke in, whereas you have Oregon. Yes, they're putting up points, but their defense isn't doing anything.
That's the problem though, is they were ranked so fucking high at the beginning of the season because all the fucking guys sitting around the table playing soggy biscuit in the corner with the rest of the NCAA, They're like, you eat the biscuit. Oregon's the biscuit. You eat it. And then they're like, all right, you get to stay in for at least, we'll see. If you play like shit, we might kick you out. But, I mean, they fucking play well against Washington offensively.
So, I've got another point. I heard about this week. I was talking with Javon on the Risky Business podcast, and he brought up how Caleb Williams has already came out and said the team that he gets drafted by, he's looking to buy into ownership as soon as he walks into the building.
I was listening to something about that earlier.
That's wild.
I was listening to something about that earlier, and they said
you're fucking
Aaron Rodgers asked for that.
Yeah.
But the NFL banned it for any current player, but he's not a current player. That's what he's asking a billionaire for a share of his company.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be the biggest bust if they give him that.
I mean, it's like
Tom Brady. You know where he's going, right? He's probably going to the fucking Broncos, dude. Dumpster fire, baby.
They'll probably end up in Chicago because the Panthers traded their number 1 pick to them, and they're 0-6.
That's true. But, I mean, they like Justin. Justin's good. Their offensive line sucks.
They just don't have a coach. They don't have an offensive line. They have the receivers now. They have a decent running back, and they have no defense.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
At least half the team sucks on a daily basis.
Just throw the organization away.
Exactly.
Give it up.
One team I did want to ask about is, okay, we see Oklahoma. They dropped 1 spot from number 5 to number 6, but Washington jumped them after beating Oregon.
And that's kind of stupid, but Washington also had a big offensive showing. So did Oklahoma to a certain extent.
But did too. Neither team showed any defense.
The problem is Texas didn't play like Texas should. Like Texas, after they beat Alabama, they played they had a few games where it was bumpy, but a few games they're like severely dominant. I mean, Texas has a really good defense, or they did.
Let me ask this. Let me ask this, and this is for anybody to answer. If Oklahoma beat them, is it more on Oklahoma showing how good they were, or is it more on how bad Texas has been doing since the Alabama game?
I think it's a bit of both, honestly. I mean, Texas hasn't looked like Texas. I mean, they're become like a second half team almost every single game. Where like some games you're like, holy shit, they're like down at half. That's fucking weird, right? And then they'll come back and win, which is what Georgia was doing for a little bit, but now they've started blowing people out. It's just kind of weird. Georgia isn't Georgia and Texas are in the same boat of you don't know what the hell you're going to get from week to week, which is really weird because they have all the talent in the fucking world.
Yeah, they do. They do right now. Okay, the other thing I wanted to bring up before we get into anything else is
fire Harbaugh.
Okay, that was the other thing.
Let's talk about the Michigan thing. That's unreal.
So let's drop it down to Davis. Davis, what is your take on Harbaugh and the whole Michigan scandal that's being investigated right now?
I mean, I feel like it happens all around college football. It's just like his big name just happened to be caught up in the thing. And it definitely happens like other teams and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I like Harbaugh. I like what he's doing at Michigan. But
all right, bye.
Fucking Michigan. I must have smelled something in the sandbox.
I like what he's doing at Michigan. He's putting a team together every year that's competing. Like I don't want them to win. They're not going to win in the playoffs anyways, but they're going to get there.
Yeah. No, I was just joking. I was just yanking your chain.
So I got a question for you. Davison. Okay. Earlier on this year, he did the implemented taking himself out of 4 games at the beginning of the season. Do you think that has something to do with the extra eyes that have been set on Michigan for the rest of the year?
I think it's smart for one. If he's going to get a suspension at any time, why not go against the 4 worst teams you're going to play?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. But do you think if he doesn't do that, do you think that they're going to go even more and go back into having another investigation stand and possibly find something else later on the year if he doesn't do that?
No, I think either way they were gonna go back, but I think it was his way of like trying to cover whatever he needed to
cover stuff up. Yeah.
Just self-implement.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious about that.
Now I do want to bring this up because I've been listening to other podcasts, other places, and just other universities around. There are 11 teams left undefeated in FBS football. One of them is a newcomer from the FCS, and one of them it's their second year from the FCS, and the other one is a first year in any conference. You have James Madison, who is 6-0, bowl eligible. You have another team who is 7-0 with the Liberty Flames, and both teams, again, bowl eligible. One's the second year in the FBS, the other one's the first year in the Conference USA. What is that saying about these mid-majors when these teams are coming from FCS? Because both started in the FCS, both are working their way through to the FBS and becoming, as big as they can get. What is that saying about our mid-major programs with teams coming from the FCS doing this?
I think it's NIL.
NIL?
Yeah. NIL is changing the landscape of all college sports.
And I think the transfer portal is doing what it was designed to do.
Yeah. For the smaller teams.
I think this is exactly why the transfer portal became a thing. Yeah. So a lot of these mid-major smaller schools have the chance to be competitive. Mm-hmm. And I was against it at first. I'm for it now. And this is exactly why. I want to start seeing some of these mid-majors be able to compete. And I want to see I want to see the Giants fall.
Like everybody does. The whole United States is based off of the underdog winning everything. Mm-hmm. Whether it's wars, whether it's sports, whatever. Mm-hmm. It's all about the underdog.
You got to think about who the coach was at Liberty before, though, and the players he probably still has there. Yeah. And so, like the players he probably had, some of them are still there.
Yeah. Well, and then Jamie Chadwell. So a lot of players had left and followed him to Auburn or to other schools, and then Jamie Chadwell, who was Coastal Carolina's coach, came in. He had brought a lot of players with him from around the country, but the
Coastal was good for a while. This one,
yeah.
I'm surprised their quarterback didn't transfer with him.
Well, he didn't have the grades. He has like a 2.5.
I'm stupid.
Wow.
He literally has a
call him out, bro.
He has a 2.49 GPA.
What's wrong with
genius?
that?
He's a fucking genius.
I mean, what the whole thing is like when you're an athlete to be able to transfer, especially in college football and basketball. I don't know about baseball and some of the other sports.
2.5 D1.
You have to have a 2.5 to transfer.
2.5 D1, 2.0 to D2.
Yeah. And he had a 2.5, and he tried transferring. Actually, surprisingly, not many people know that.
What's D3?
Probably a 1.0.
If you can walk and talk, that's D3.
But he tried to
transfer. Right.
He tried to transfer to Michigan at one point. So
Harbaugh didn't like him.
No, I think that's the whole thing. But
you didn't do good on your knees, boy. Harbaugh don't like you, boy.
But that's the second player. That's the second player in a different sport that had issues with grades trying to transfer to Michigan. But yeah, so that was my question. Just kind of wondering about that. Now, my other statement. This is more of a statement, not a question. To the audience out there, okay. Our show has been calling a lot of games and been giving really good detail, and we've been showing out some of these other shows like the Cover 3 podcast and some other major shows that are getting high network stuff. So make sure you guys tune in and listen in every Thursday, every Friday night to the midweek breakdown. You'll actually get some useful information for betting on who's going to win and who's going to lose type deal.
Hell yeah.
So make sure you tune in every Thursday, Friday, depending on the week, depending on the schedule. Make sure you guys hit that like button, follow us, comment, everything. Now we're going to get into the major breakdown of this week's schedule. So we have, I think, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. We have 9 games we're talking about today. We're going to start with Aaron, and we're going to take it to Utah, USC. 2 top 20 teams. I believe I know USC is coming off a loss. Utah, I believe, is coming off of a bye week, if I'm not mistaken. I might be 1 week ahead of that. But, Aaron, what do you got for this game?
Oh, so basically I have to talk about, USC, Mr. 3 picks himself, and then Utah. I think USC's –
Morris. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong team.
I know, that's basically what they do. But fucking Utah has been playing – they've still been playing good without a quarterback like usual, but USC has Caleb Williams last game, dude. My man threw a lot of interceptions very quickly in the first half. That's not a good thing to see from he was a potential Heisman quarterback. I don't know unless he blows out every other team. He has a chance to get back in.
He's won the Heisman too, so you expect a lot more out of him.
Yeah, you expect a lot more out of him, but I mean, they just, like Dylan said it multiple times, USC does not have a defense. Yeah. It's 100% true. They're, like I said, they have a thing called a defense. What does it do? I don't fucking know. It sits there and stares in the sandbox with the rest of the NCAA and eats the shit that's on the floor.
Yeah.
I've seen those robot dummies in practice make more tackles in their secondary.
Dude, it's like watching Colorado's defense, dude. Colorado's defense is the same thing. They literally run around like through people, and they grab them and they fall over.
And you know what the crazy thing is?
I think Colorado can exposed USC.
Yeah.
True.
No way.
True.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what the crazy thing is? Those teams that you all named, they aren't even they're not leading the category in missed tackles for the season. Notre Dame
is nuts. Yeah, go Notre Dame. Fuck the Irish.
Fighting
Irish. You have to be close to someone to tackle them, right?
Yeah.
No. Not it.
It doesn't look like anybody's close to them when they're throwing the ball.
That's so
Notre
true.
Dame's like trying to tackle. I mean, they aren't even trying.
That's true. That's very true.
Well, they all put blindfolds on and started running around.
They need to put the blinders on like the horse.
It's just like watching a bunch of blind kids run around in a parking lot. That's really what's happening, dude.
Oh boy. So
we might get canceled for that one.
Fuck them.
We'll change the name of the program if we have to. We're gonna switch.
3 idiots with a special guest. That's the program.
Davis was like, I wish I didn't reach out to be on the show now. So we're gonna keep it in the same conference. We got number 8 Oregon versus Washington State in Oregon. Dylan, what do you got?
So ESPN's got Oregon winning by 95%. I think they are, for what I remember seeing, they're like a 21-point favorite.
Okay.
Washington State, they haven't had a good run the last couple of weeks. Last week they lost to Arizona, 44-6.
Yep. Arizona's a sneaky team right now.
I don't know what happened to Cam Ward, but he ain't balling like he was in the first half.
He's not playing hockey anymore.
Huh?
He's not playing hockey anymore.
Oh, he's
True.
He's
That's
not.
the problem, dude.
Yeah, he switched sports, and just all of a sudden, he's just not good at anything anymore.
Exactly.
So, Oregon still, even coming off a loss last week, they still played very well, opposed to them not having a defense. but their offense still works. And yeah, Washington State plays like shit. So I think Oregon's not really going to have it.
Do you think Oregon's going to be slow to start, though? Or are they going to come out the gate saying, fuck you, here's our offense in full fucking swing?
I think that might be one possibility. The other side, I think they might be coming out with a chip on their shoulder. Exactly. And
that's what I was kind of leaving.
I could see both ways happening. Yeah. I'm very curious to see on that, but I believe, honestly, if you ask my opinion, I think they're going to come out pretty slow with the projections for this week.
Yeah. Well, we're going to change it. We're going to go completely other side of the country down to the sunny state of Florida. We got Clemson, Miami, Davis. What do you have on this one?
Well, I think Clemson's going to lose. I think they should lose every single game all year. 2,
I don't think you're biased at all.
DJ, I'm not biased. I'm just being factual statement about it. I think they threw DJ under the bus way too soon, and that's going to come back and bite him. And Dabo is not all high and mighty without his assistants, in my opinion. And the shit show that happened in Miami, I don't know, it was last week or a couple weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think Miami's going to come out hot, and because Clemson has been the standard in ACC for a while, and every team wants to beat them. So
and Miami coming off of 2 losses, it helps their case a little bit more with wanting to fight back and everything to that extent. And then
also,
Clemson and Shipley, right?
The ACC has a different dynamic this year. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of good teams in the ACC. They came out really hot, and they've stayed hot for the rest of the season.
A lot of them have stayed hot.
Yeah,
we've seen a couple cool off, like Miami and a few other teams, but
Miami does that in every sport.
Exactly.
They start out hot with baseball, football, whatever, and then they fizzle out.
Yep.
Notre Dame.
We're gonna change the whole dynamic here. We're going to honor and salute our military this week with the number 22 Air Force versus Navy. Aaron, what do you have on this? Because there is some big news that came out about this game this week.
Exactly. Air Force's quarterback is not going to be playing for a little bit since his knee. His knee is not in the best spot anymore after the last game. I think it's going to hurt them a lot. But I mean, Air Force, it's a military academy. They run a tight ship. The next guy up's probably going to play for
literally and figuratively.
Literally and figuratively, they run a fucking tight ship. It's fucking crazy, man. But I mean, their Navy and Air Force is just always such a fun game. Air Force is projected to win by a fucking lot. I mean, we're gonna see. I doubt there's going to be much passing going on in this game because there usually never is, because
you can see the triple option at its finest this week,
which is fun. Triple option is fun. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. It's like, all right, who's getting the ball? I don't fucking know. Give it to the guy on the other side of the fucking field, dude. That's literally what happens. It's fucking nuts. It's
NCAA 14, that shit was nuke, dude. You can use that all with every single team and you'd win.
That's what the USC and Oregon's defense are like.
Very true. Very true. Where's the ball going? Let's hug in the middle.
But that game has been sold out, and Air Force, to everybody's knowledge, is 6-0, so they are bowl eligible this year for the first time. I think it was like in 15 years or something.
Let's go Falcons.
Which is really great for
the Falcons.
We are going to keep it on the East Coast, but we're going to drop it a little bit south. We're going to homecoming in Greenville, North Carolina. We got UNC Charlotte versus East Carolina. Dylan, what do you got on this one?
Yes, sir. The toilet bowl, man. They're neither of these teams are good.
The toilet bowl. Let's go. It's a bowl game. You just don't know.
We call the sandbox now.
They have the sandbox.
They weren't allowed in the sandbox. They took the shit out of the sandbox and put it in the bowl.
Oh boy!
Damn! Like here's your lunch. Scooper.
The only big headline that came out of this is that Charlotte's coach, which has been making headlines all over, just because he's just that guy, calling out sup dogs in his press conference. That's the biggest headline about this whole entire game. I will be in attendance for this, so we're going to see just how bad Mason Garcia actually plays this week.
Yeah.
The rest of the team actually aren't playing that bad. The defense isn't bad. It's quarterback play. It's being able to hold on to the ball, get your defense off the field, make sure that they're not exhausted by the time they get back on. And, Charlotte's coming off of a 14-0 loss to Navy last week. So we should be coming to this game pretty strong.
You're saying there's a chance.
You're saying there's a chance.
It's ECU. There's no chance. It's all a lie.
We're going to take it back out. We're going to take it to the Midwest. We're going to make it a little bit back to the SEC here. We got South Carolina at number 20, Mizzou. Davis and I were talking about this game beforehand. What do you got on this one, Davis?
I mean, one, Cox by millions for sure. But
Cox! Go Cox!
I will say this.
Big Cox!
Pause. I will say this. Missouri has played South Carolina well every year, but this is our year. I mean, if Spencer Rattler is playing out of his mind, and we played well, and I think it's the Battle of Columbia, so Gamecocks are going to win, hopefully. But
okay,
that's kind of our mindset going into each game. But
yeah. So that game, and then the last two games we're gonna call, but this next game we're not. We're gonna keep it in the SEC, but we're driving it down to probably about 5 hours maybe down to Alabama. We're looking at number 17 Tennessee versus number 11 Alabama. Aaron, what do you got on this one? Because last year this game was the game of the year, I think.
Yeah, it was just.
The game was high scoring. You had some defense played, but it was just a back and forth game the whole night.
What was the outcome of that game?
Tennessee won. Alabama did not play well.
Sorry. I'm just saying South Carolina beat Tennessee last year and Clemson, so I completely forgot. My bad. But.
The outcome. I was gonna say the outcome of that game was the goalpost ending in the river.
Yeah.
I didn't know if Alabama fans have short memories or not.
No. I don't want to lose. I don't have to trust in a team that's not ranked like yours. You know what I mean?
It's happened a
South
lot.
Carolina, baby. Big Cox guy. Big Cox guy.
We don't make
you also take Cox with pride too. But that's besides the point.
I'm pretty sure we beat you. In
I don't remember that. It must have been 30 years ago.
2012.
Oh, 2012. That's forever ago.
Y'all come over to our conference.
Yeah, we got what? How many bowl games? How many national championships after that?
Last time y'all won.
Quite a bit. When have y'all won a national championship? Oh, that's right. You haven't. Oh, well. Another year, another failure. Just a normal day, right?
With a grain of salt.
Alabama, Tennessee. Alabama
brings up a loss. They cannot take when somebody brings up a loss.
I don't care. I know I lose. I call my team shit. You haven't been listening. I call my team shit every fucking day, dude, because they play like shit. Alabama versus Tennessee is going to probably be the same thing. Yeah, even though Alabama's going to try to get a fucking revenge after last year against Tennessee, I don't know. Alabama's offensive line still playing in the goddamn fucking play. It's not even a fucking sandbox anymore, dude. They're on the fucking monkey bars wondering what the fuck they're supposed to be doing as they fall off and faceplant into the fucking sandbox full of shit again. I mean,
we don't get upset like this. We have a good time. We drink cold beer and have fun no matter what.
Cold beer and lose. Yeah, no, I can't do that. It's just completely different.
Cold.
Yeah, just like your loss. It's very cold, not warm again, close to the heart.
You got upset about that Tennessee loss. That was
just another fucking game, dog. This year, I think it's going to be different. Alabama, the receivers didn't play well last game. They didn't want to catch the ball. But, I mean, Alabama's offense is slowly getting going. Their defense, still a piece of fucking shit, which is not surprising. Every year, the Alabama's defense is a piece of shit. This year's no exception. Tennessee's going to play pretty well. I mean, their last game, they played close, but Tennessee, I think, is going to come out of it and play pretty hard. I mean, A&M played them hard. So we play A&M hard, too. So it's going to definitely be a close game, but who knows? I think Alabama's going to definitely win, but it's going to be close.
You just said a minute ago you don't think they are. You said it's going to be
I know, but I have to believe, just like you in South Carolina, dog. You just got to believe, even though it's not possible. Yeah, I know.
So, it is what it is. After that great discussion, we're going to drive it a little bit more eastward towards Tallahassee, just by a couple hours. We're looking at number 16 Duke versus number 4 FSU. Dylan, what do you have? I know you got your family going to that game, but what do you got for it?
Yeah, no, this is my first time my dad's going to be in Tallahassee. He is super excited for this. I actually think it's going to be a pretty good game. Riley Leonard is supposed to play this game.
Keyword supposed to.
Yes, supposed to, quote unquote. According to Sports Illustrated that I read earlier today, he's supposed to play this week. So since he's coming in, he's not going to be 100%. But there is a report coming out that Elko was talking about him, and they were saying they wouldn't be putting him in this game unless they think he's going to be able to play 100%. So the thing is he going to be able to last against this Florida State defense? Because their defense is good. They've got a very, very good defense. They've been able. their offense is pretty solid. The problem is going to be that Florida State receiving core. Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson are going off this year. Keon Coleman, I think.
Prove.
Huh?
They have something to prove.
They do have something to prove. So it's going to be very interesting.
Paid a lot of money.
That too.
They are.
That too.
Boys get paid. Yeah.
Both making dollars.
So I'm very curious to see how this is going to go. You're going against the number one rushing attack in the ACC against the number one, close to being number one receiving core in the ACC right now. So we're going to see how this is going to go.
Who's the number one in the ACC, the receiving core?
I believe right now, isn't it? It was North Carolina's like last week. I don't know if that's overall for the season or if that was just for the.
No, it's not for last week. It was not for the whole season. It might be Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson because they've been playing. I know both of them are over total yardage. They're about at 800 yards piece. 800 yards total. I'm sorry. That was, yeah. That's ridiculous. That's basically all of Jordan Travis's numbers because he's not that good.
So last game, we're going to take it up north to the number 7 Penn State versus number 3 Ohio State. Ohio State is favored here, almost 65% to 35%. ESPN has it. Ohio State does get back 2 of their better players. Their running back Travion Henderson and Ibuka will be back this week, so that will be a great help for that Ohio State team. But we're really going to find out. To me, there's more questions on the Penn State side right now because we haven't seen Penn State play anybody quite yet. Yes, they played like Michigan State, but Michigan State's in the turmoil, like how they've been the last couple of years. They played Iowa when they were ranked, but Iowa was not, they were overdone. So I think it's gonna be a great game. I don't know what to expect really out of Penn State because they are playing away in the biggest crowd they will have faced up until they play maybe at the Big House, because the Shoe and the Big House are pretty much similar in size. So we'll see how that goes. But before you continue,
I believe that Penn State is probably the last top 10 ranked team that has not proven themselves.
Yeah,
at all. Like they haven't played anyone. It's just like how Oregon was. Oregon got ranked very high to begin with, and they could only go down but so much because the NCAA loves Oregon. But like Penn State, they haven't done anything. Now they've been very quiet. So like me personally, I ain't looked at anything for Penn State because A, I don't really care about anything what Penn State does, and B, they haven't done anything so spectacular that I need to tune in to see what they're doing.
But
I haven't watched one of their games yet.
That's what I'm saying.
I've only kept up with them a little bit, trying to hear here and there for the show. And like Penn State, they beat Iowa. Iowa was ranked like 23 or 24 at the time. Penn State was like number 12 or 13 at the time. So it wasn't like anything, major because Iowa obviously is out of the top 25. They haven't done anything. And all their other opponents have been like Rutgers, Michigan State, those kind of teams. So it, like I said before, there's more questions than we have answers for Penn State this week. And
I think it's an interesting matchup.
It is. It quite is. And plus, we don't know how Penn State plays in a big Coliseum big stadium this year.
Big game too.
Their quarterback has been there for a few years. Agle, I think that's how you pronounce his name, Allar. So it's going to be quite interesting. I don't want to give who I think is going to win yet because that's going to be one of our games that we're going to call. But speaking of calling games, anybody have anything else to add through the rankings of last week and stuff like that?
I think Ohio State, as the year goes on, with their quarterback finally getting used to like the receivers and stuff, I think they're going to get better and better.
Oh yeah, Kyle McCord has kind of shown that he can handle the pressure at the last few minutes of a game against Notre Dame. He's shown, and now getting Ibuka back, who's a great wide receiver, and getting Travion Henderson, who is the number 1 running back up there this year, that's going to help out immensely this week.
Because we were really hard on McCord at the beginning of the season, and he didn't look very good in the beginning. But I think he's starting. I think just like you said, I think he's starting to get used to being in that offense with these type of receivers. Literally, all you got to do is he's just got to get it put in the right place. Yeah, everybody else will do the work.
That's what it's like with Georgia's quarterback too. But I don't know with Brock Bowers being out. But I think the more season they get, you had legends at Georgia and Ohio State for years, and now you finally have somebody new. It's like you're gonna practice squad doesn't build you for that.
No, right. that and having being a 5-star athlete or 4-star athlete, as a lot of these guys are, especially at the quarterback position, you expect them to be coming right off the bench and being this top dog the whole time.
Yeah, you got to think they haven't played in 2 years.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, you got to think they haven't played in 2 years. Like the last game they meaningful probably played was high school.
Yeah,
and they sat behind two really great college football quarterbacks.
Yeah,
for 2 years just watched.
But we're gonna start in the most popular segment of our show. We are gonna call 5 games. So you got to be. I think the record is what, 4-1, Dylan, for the celebrity
top one so far is 4-1.
4-1. So you got to beat 4-1. That's the goal, mission.
Okay.
So we're going to start out with the first game. We already know who you called for this game. It's South Carolina, Mizzou. So Davis, you're calling South Carolina. I know you said by 1 million, but I don't think the scoreboard reaches that high. What do you think the score is for this game?
I think it's 35-25 in favor of the Gamecocks.
Okay.
If it could go up to 1 million, I'd still stand by it. I'm like Alabama fans. They backtrack.
So
I know we can't win.
We'll go to Aaron. Aaron, what do you think the score is going to be for this South Carolina Mizzou game?
I think Mizzou's going to win. By how much? I really don't have a number. I mean, Mizzou's quarterback is playing very, very good fucking football.
So was South Carolina's.
I know, but I mean, he hasn't played as well as fucking Mizzou's quarterback. Mizzou's quarterback has played some really fucking good ball. He's thrown the ball all over the fucking field without a care in the world.
Have you not watched the South Carolina football game?
I've watched their 4 losses, yes. I've not watched their wins.
The only game I watched was
they don't have 4 losses.
So Mizzou, I think it'll be relatively not too high scoring. I think it'll be 28-21. I think Mizzou squeaks it out in the end.
Okay.
I think it'll be a good atmosphere.
What do you think, Dylan?
So I think it's going to be pretty close, to be honest with you. Mizzou's good. I like Mizzou. I like Brady Cook. Brady Cook has been playing really well. I've warmed up to Spencer Rattler. I have been very, very critical on Spencer Rattler through his whole career, not his career at South Carolina, his whole career. Yeah. I've not been a big fan.
Dude's a dog.
He is a dog, and he's coming around this year. He's played very well. He played good last year.
That was the biggest thing for him.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. He got hit a couple of times and took a couple off the chin. He's like, okay, it's time to play.
Both at Oklahoma and at South Carolina.
And we got rid of our offensive coordinator. He's gone. Mm-hmm. He's in Nebraska, and you see what they were doing. You know.
Yeah, God bless Nebraska.
I was gonna say Nebraska is not the greatest place to go to for.
We would have paid Nebraska to take him. They didn't even have to offer him a contract. We probably would have paid him to take him. It was that bad.
Here's $1 million. Please take him.
But this has actually been a tough game for me to call because I can definitely see South Carolina beating Missouri this week. I think it's going to take somebody scoring at the minimum 42 points to win this game. Honestly, I could see that. Brady Cook is playing well. Spencer Rattler's playing well. You got 2 receivers on both sides between Leggett and Bird in the third that are balling out this year. So it's kind of hard to pick. Screw it. I'm gonna take South Carolina for this. I think it's gonna be a 45-41 game. Just because Davis is on here, I'm gonna take South Carolina.
See, I think it's all gonna come down to not the quarterback, not the wide receivers, and not even the running backs. Defense, I don't imagine any defense. It's going to come down to the trenches. This game, these two teams, it's going to come down to the trenches.
So here's the thing I'm going to add to that before you continue. I'm going along your point here. So if you look at yardage allowed per game so far on the defensive side of the ball for both Missouri and South Carolina, South Carolina's allowing 451 yards per game, opposed to Missouri allowing 345. Majority of that's being in the air.
Yeah.
So I think both teams defensively are going to allow some big throws.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of yards being thrown up in this game. I had to add to that.
No, you're good. I think that was a good point. I do think if you watch – so I've watched both of these teams play. I watched South Carolina play UNC. The offensive line didn't hold up in that game. I saw Mizzou play – who was it that they won by a field goal? Was it Kentucky?
The one that came back on when they were booing the quarterback for the first half.
Yeah, so they won that game by a field goal. The offensive line did not play well there either. So to me, it's going to come down who is going to win the trench warfare. That's honestly who's going to be. You have to give a favorite to Mizzou just because they're at home. I don't think either team is really going to make that big, like, like they're going to make those big plays, but they're not going to make like that big 40-point victory here. I think it's going to be freaking close. I think it's going to be it's going to be a high scoring game for sure. I think it's going to be closer to like 42-45. It's going to come down to another field goal. But I think it might be USC sneaking that one out. So that's what I'm going with.
That's a smart decision.
So it's hard for me to say that too, just because I'm like, I don't know who to go with, like, in all honesty.
I will say this: Missouri's always been bad when we played them, and they beat us every year. But now they're good.
So you might get the opposite, and that's what we were talking about prior to the show. So I took that in consideration after watching a little bit of their film this year.
And South Carolina likes to play up to their competition too. If they're playing somebody pretty good, they typically play those big teams pretty well.
We didn't play bad against Georgia. The second half was terrible, but other than that, I thought for a number one team, I didn't think we played terrible.
Yeah. Neither do I. And so we're going to keep it with the USC factor here. We're going to go to Utah versus USC, 14 versus 18. Dylan, what do you have for this one?
Should we have to go back to my remarks on USC's defense from last week?
Nah, I think it's pretty clear. They suck. It's fun to watch.
The only problem I have with Utah is I don't think they're going to be able to score because Cam Rising's still not back. Nate Johnson, he is not getting the job done.
It's just the running game they got.
Yeah, and being one-dimensional like that, you don't win ball games. Trust me. I played my high school career like that. It was horrible. You don't win. So I'm going to give it to USC on this. I hate to say it. I like this Utah team. I really wish that Cam Rising would have been playing this whole time because I think it would have been a whole different story. So I'm going to go with USC in this one. We're going to go 35, Utah 14.
Okay. Davis, what do you think for this one? You going to stay with USC?
I think the Trojans are going to have a bounce back. They're not the real USC, but I think the Trojans are going to have a bounce back. I think Caleb Williams is going to
kind of have that game.
Yeah, I think so. Or if the off-the-field stuff, honestly, that with the NFL, I think that could be kind of getting to him a little bit. He's thinking about that, but I think he's going to have a bounce back because he's getting paid a lot now. I think it's 42-35 in favor of the Trojans.
Aaron, what about you?
I got 28-21 Utah winning because, Caleb Williams is going to throw some more picks this game. Utah still got a pretty good defense. It's going to be very, very difficult.
My big thing with Caleb Williams, you saw last week what happened whenever he got pressure.
Yeah.
Notre Dame got to him and started getting on rattle. He made some bad throws.
Yep.
Utah's front seven are real.
Yeah.
They have a very, very good front seven. Jonah Ellis is one of the best linebackers in the country.
Yeah.
He is going to get to him. So what is he going to do with that pressure? He knows it's coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is Utah going to be able to respond to that is the question.
See, I think you're going to see a couple of pick sixes in this game, whether it's for both sides or specifically for Utah. I think it's going to be Utah with the pull out of that victory, but it's going to be super close, 21-17. So
okay.
We're going to the game we had a little controversy on with, a quarterback injury going against Navy this week, big rivalry, bowl eligible for the first time in like 15 years, undefeated so far. We got Air Force, Navy. Aaron, who do you got?
Again, it's just going to be a fun game. It's just always such a fun game watching any military school just playing each other. They always don't care. They're like,
all right. Watch the Coast Guard. That game is just unbearable to watch.
And that wasn't really a game.
That's Division II football right there.
I think it's going to definitely be fun to watch. Years past, it hasn't been the highest scoring game. I think this year it's going to be high scoring on both sides. I think both of them are going to come out and just play a ton of football. It's going to be a fun game to watch. I have Air Force winning 42-35.
Okay. Davis, how about you?
I have America winning in this one.
America.
That's all I'm going to say on that one. I'm going to
put down America.
Yeah, America.
That's all I'm putting
you can't go wrong with that.
So. No. Dylan, how about you?
So both teams are going to be playing with a backup quarterback in this. If you didn't see last week against Charlotte, Navy's starting quarterback went down. So their backup had to come in. Well, now Air Force is going to have to deal with that, even though Air Force is a better team. They lead the overall series 33-22. I think it's going to be 34-22 after this. Air Force up 25, Navy 7.
Okay. 25-7. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I do, for one, think Air Force. I think America wins for sure. Especially with everything going on in the world today. Getting to watch two big schools, two big military schools. The only one we're missing is West Point at this time. Duke it out. So I do think we're gonna see. To be honest, it's like really it's the Brainiacs versus the Seamen. You know what I mean? It's on that kind of context.
Pause.
I know. I had this.
Whoa.
Hey, all that tells me is all three of you guys have really dirty minds.
Seamen by 90.
What?
Seamen by 90, baby. Seamen by 90.
I do think Air Force is going to pull out the victory. I think it's going to be.
Seamen. Okay. I get it.
South Carolina for you guys. They drink, they don't learn. South Carolina, baby.
I didn't get
that.
Seamen. Okay.
Yeah, but I have it 24-10 for that game. We're going to take it to one of the only weeks this week where we have a top, 15-16 matchup. Number 16 Duke versus number 4 FSU. Dylan, you kind of gave a little bit on who you think is going to win, but who do you think is going to win and what's the score?
So I am excited to see how Duke's going to play with Riley Leonard coming back. However, I think Florida State's defense is going to be able to contain them. Keon Coleman, he's going to get his yardage. Johnny Wilson's going to be able to do his thing, and then that's going to open up the run game. I'm going Florida State 42, Duke 27.
Okay.
Very close.
Davis, how about you?
I'm going to take Florida State 42-24.
Okay. Keeping it close. Keeping it close to Dylan's. Aaron, what about you?
I'm going to go with, I think it's going to be an absolute just a brawl. I think I call Duke winning by a field goal, 24-21.
Is that with the quarterback playing or without?
I think either or, because, I mean, like we saw when we were at NC State last week, also shout out to that fucking retard behind us that wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Both there and at both there and the Marshall game.
Dude, oh my God. It's like, why is that a penalty? Dumb fuck. He hit him before the ball left his hands. And then he shut the fuck up. Old man, sit the fuck down and drink your beer and stop asking stupid questions.
You ask stupid questions, you get stupid answers.
Exactly. He's like, I don't get it. It's not a penalty. Yeah, shut the fuck up. No one asked you. Dumb bitch. But I think Duke's defense, they like to play tough opponents. They like when they beat Clemson. I mean, it was the defense. The defense played really well. I think the defense is going to have a very tough time with Florida State. It could be high scoring, but I still think Duke has a chance to squeak it out. Even if Leonard doesn't play to his full extent and they put in the second string guy got pretty comfortable at State. He threw some pretty good balls.
He did look pretty
down
good.
the field. He played pretty well.
The difference is State's defense versus FSU's defense.
Yeah, that is a big difference. But Duke likes to play tough opponents.
Absolutely. This is homecoming for Florida State as well.
Yeah. And they know how to party in Tallahassee.
Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. I'm with you on the same score. I think it's going to be 24-21. I think it's going to be a last-second field goal, but by FSU. That's the only difference I got. I don't know. You know, it all depends on Riley Leonard. If Riley Leonard is healthy and can handle the whole system, boom, Duke, I think, wins that 24-21. But if it's not, and he's not 100%, and even with the backup, seeing that defense as your second game, it's not the same as NC State. So that's where I'm at. So now we got the only top 10 matchup of the week. We got Penn State, Ohio State. Davis, who do you have and what's the score?
I have Ohio State 21-14.
21-14. Okay. Aaron, how about you?
I got 42-21. Ohio State's going to blow Penn State out of the water. Because, again, like we were talking about earlier, Penn State has not played a good fucking opponent. Yeah. The last game they won was 63-0, but I can't even tell you who the fuck they played against because it wasn't even a good team. I think Ohio State's gonna come out and say, "All right, Penn State, you thought you've played some good football. Let's see how your defense and offense handles a juggernaut." And it's just going to be an absolute brawl. I think Ohio State's going to show what their team is made.
I was going to say, like I said before, if it wasn't for this show, I don't think I would know what Penn State, who they played yet or not.
Exactly, dude.
I still don't even know who Penn State is playing. Yeah, I'm on the show.
Yeah. I mean, I just looked it up for this game specifically, and then the Michigan game when they play. Dylan, how about you? Who do you think is going to win and by how much?
I think, unfortunately, I got the pull for Ohio State here. I think it's going to be a 38-28 game.
38 what?
38-28?
38-28.
Okay. I mean, you know me. I'm going with my Buckeyes. I want to say it's a blowout. I'm not sure about that because I can't tell you about how the offense for Penn State's going to play.
It's tough to call, man, because we
exactly.
just don't.
That's why
so many unknowns.
That's crazy. I like to pull those unknown games in here that we're not 100% sure, but it's going to be a good matchup just because of the rankings right now and stuff. So that's what I like to do. But I think it's going to be like 35-21. Ohio State.
I don't know. Last time we did an unknown game with Fresno State, you saw they lost to Wyoming. So
yeah, but we also had another unknown game with Air Force Navy. We've had there's been a lot of talks about Air Force on social media, though. If you go on there and look, they've been talking a lot about Air Force, James Madison. They're the two big ones. Liberty's been getting a lot of exposure. Even look at this. Look, what about
Madison was good last year because that's where South
Carolina
got one of the coordinators from.
Mm-hmm. We even had Louisville Notre Dame. That was one. You know, we've had a few out there that are
Notre Dame.
Who would have guessed? You know,
that Louisville game was pretty big for us.
Yeah. I mean, that was one game I was like, after watching Louisville play the week beforehand against State, I was like, yep, I knew that they were going to have that upset win over Notre Dame.
Where did their coach come from, Louisville's coach?
I can tell you 1 second, actually.
I want to say
while you're doing that, I've got something I want to talk about with y'all real quick that I saw. Yeah. I don't know if I shared it with everybody.
He came from Georgia. Oh, no, sorry.
I want to say he came from like Cincinnati or something like that. Or it was
he came from
Purdue, maybe?
Hold on. Since 2023, so he's only been there for 1 year.
Yeah, he's new. I know. I want to say.
Okay, he played a lot in the NFL back in like the 90s and early 2000s. He was at Louisville as the head coach back in 2002, but it didn't work out. So he ended up demoting himself to the quarterbacks coach from 2003 to 2006. And then he was the assistant head coach and passing game coordinator at Louisville. Then in 2008, he was the assistant head coach and offensive coordinator. Then in 2009, he went to Florida Atlantic as a quarterback coach. Then he was at Illinois for 2 years until 2011 as the quarterback coach. And then he went to UAB for 1 year as the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. Then he went to Western Kentucky as the assistant coach, offensive coordinator, and quarterback coach. And then he was the head coach for 2 years at Western Kentucky before becoming the head coach at Purdue for 5 years, and now he's the head coach at Louisville.
Yeah, because a lot of people gave him shit when he left Purdue to go to the ACC in Louisville.
Well, when he was at Purdue, he had that big upset win at Purdue against Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of like took his career, like coaching-wise, that took his career and kind of like shifted how his mindset was. But yeah, he looks familiar. When you look at his picture, you're like, oh man, I've seen that guy before.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, he's somebody to keep an eye out for as a top college coach, I think, in the next upcoming years.
This is the first time they've been good since Lamar was there.
Yeah. And I think he's going to be staying at Louisville for a while because that's kind of where he started his whole coaching career at.
Mm.
So it's kind of like when it's finally you get your home place again that you're going to stay there as long as you can. But yeah, Dylan, anyways, you wanted to talk about what?
Yeah, so I know how you love your Liberty Flames. So this week for their uniform reveal, they took a photo shoot out of Sheets.
That was sick. That was sick.
It was fire. It was fire, dude. You
got to remember this, Dylan. I know you've been to Lynchburg like once, I believe, maybe twice.
Yeah,
Lynchburg. There's like 5 things to do there: the university, go to Sheets, go to Sam's Club and Walmart, maybe go hiking, and then to go to a sport like football game or like basketball game or something like that. That's all there is to do in Lynchburg.
And church, right?
Well, and church, but I mean, like during the week, those are the 5 things you do. There's like to my surprise, when I was living there, they have the most. I don't want to say like rich people, but like pretty much the most like rich pastors have a house there in like just outside Lynchburg in Bedford. And then just about 40 minutes north of Lynchburg in Charlottesville, that's where all the NBA players, all the football players, all the baseball players that are international players, like from the Congo, from Dominican Republic, all have an apartment or a house in Charlottesville, and that's where their home base is. So all within 30 minutes of Liberty, 45 minutes of Liberty, there's so much money right there. So that's why they've made it only that kind of stuff to do with there. So
Mott sticks for the win.
Yep, I'm telling you, man. that mozzarella sauce.
I had to talk about it because I was like, dude, that is fire. It looks cool. It's like you're back in high school and you go to the freaking Wilco that's down the street that's got a Wendy's inside it. He's like, yeah, we're gonna post up here and take pictures for freaking MySpace. That's what that looks like.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say that program has changed a lot. The whole university's changed a lot. If I wasn't a graduate there, I wouldn't be pulling for them. But being a graduate from there, I'm pulling for them.
By the way, we need to look at schedules to go out there for a midnight hockey game.
I'm actually going up there in a couple months, about 4 weeks for the midnight game.
Great. Thanks for not inviting me, dude.
Thanks.
Yes, it is fire as hell, dude. Like they have what, 4 games a year that they do?
3 games a year.
3 games a year.
Yeah. So the next one, I was thinking next semester will probably be the best time to go.
Yeah, we all need to go.
Yeah,
those games are so much fun, dude.
Yeah. Next semester, I think it's in February if I'm not mistaken. It might be the end of January, but they'll have the midnight game. That game is 10 times better than this one. This one I have to go up for a wedding, so I'm going up like the same time as that. That's the only reason why it happens to be perfect for timing wise. So
still salty.
Yeah. We'll make it to next semester. There's a whole bunch of games going on. They also do a midnight lacrosse game and a midnight volleyball game.
I might talk good about the Cover 3 podcast to you now.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd be pissed if I had a midnight baseball game.
I wouldn't do it.
I would be mad.
No,
that's why they don't do baseball. That's why they do lacrosse and lacrosse. It's always against Florida when they do it.
Well, I don't want to. Okay, I don't. No, I'd be mad if I was an athlete. Nope.
Well, it's club sports. It's not NCAA sports. It's club sports. Yeah. So
I'd be pissed if they told me I had a game at 12.
See, and they have the most sports than any college in the country. Liberty does because of the club sports. Because of club sports and everything else, they have like double the amount. They even have like a paintball team. If that doesn't tell you what they got.
Fuck yeah, dude. Hey, bro, are you over there? I'm so fucking soccer. Son of a bitch. Fuck you.
If it wasn't for Title IX, they would have like literally every sport covered. They even have a rowing team. They have an equestrian
fuck
team. But next semester we should plan on something where we can go up. I'll talk to my brother about when the schedule is and we can figure it out.
Yeah, that'll be fire, dude. Those games are fun.
Yep. But anything else you guys like to add about this week?
Nah, man. Appreciate you, Davis.
Yeah, I'm glad you were able to come on.
You said what?
I said glad you were able to come on.
No, I appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Yeah, we're gonna have you on again soon. We're gonna whoever ends up winning the whole thing, we'll have them on. And then when baseball season starts, we're definitely gonna have you on.
Oh, 100%.
So college baseball and professional baseball.
Dude, so like whenever it comes down to like bowl season and all that, whenever we start getting there, I was thinking about this the other day. What if like the top 3, maybe like the top 3 people that end up getting on our little scorecard?
Yeah.
What if we all got them all on here all at one time and just say, you know what? Round robin, just get after it. Let's just see who can win.
And you're thrown into that category too.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'll fucking get thrown into the bus. I'll be driving that short bus. I'm driving the short bus. I'm like, idiot 1, response. Idiot 2, response. Idiot 3, what you got?
But with that, thank you for joining us on the midweek breakdown, hosted by the Athletes Table. Peace.
We'll see you.